Welcome, everyone. It's been a lot of speeches, but I know this is a motivating group, so good afternoon, everyone. You know, it's been a while since we've been in person, and I know it's in you. I know it is. So we're going to try it one more time, but with the excitement that not being on Zoom brings. Good afternoon, everyone. You can't get that on your computer speakers. You really can't. So thank you all for being here. And before I get started, I have a very special video message that I'd like to share with everybody from someone who attended NatCon in 2015 in person when they were the Vice President of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce our Commander-in-Chief, President Joe Biden.
Hello, Student Veterans of America. You deserve these veterans' rights. You deserve this education. I want to thank you and Jared Lyon and everyone at SVA for all that you're doing for veterans education. I still remember attending the national conference in 2015 and the incredible energy in the room. Secretary McDonough and Secretary Cardona will be speaking to my administration's unwavering commitment to our veterans, and I mean unwavering, and the military-connected students. Our student veterans are an enormous asset to our nation, and my administration is determined to ensure that you have everything you need to be able to successfully complete your educations and begin the next chapter in your service in whatever form it takes. Already this year, I've kept my commitment. I was proud to be able to close the 90-10 loophole so that those predatory for-profit colleges stop targeting veterans' education benefits. We also prioritize making sure that veterans have the full spectrum of services and benefits they need to thrive, from the $17 billion in the American Rescue Plan, to support of the VA's COVID-19 response, to the steps we've taken to address environmental exposures, and to our focus on mental health and reducing veterans and military suicides, to our revitalized work to end veterans' homelessness. End veterans' homelessness. And my administration is going to continue working every day to make sure that all of America's veterans, including our student veterans, feel the same gratitude and support from our country when they take off that uniform as they showed to our country when they put it on. So I want to thank you so very much. May God bless all our veterans, and may God protect our troops. You guys and women are the best.
So I've got to tell you that it feels absolutely amazing to be here in person. Our national conference for me, and I hope for many of you, is my fuel to get out there and do more for our community. Most of my year as your national president and CEO is normally spent traveling the country and speaking with our chapters or working in our national headquarters in Washington, D.C. I love my job. I love the work I have the chance to do, but most of all, I love serving each and every one of you. But NatCon, here, I actually get to meet so many of you. I get to hear about your dreams and your aspirations, and I'll let that fill me up so I can attack the year with the exuberance that it deserves. The people in this room inspire me. I'm so proud to represent you, and I'm so happy to see you all sitting here today, having overcome the last 2 years of challenges, and for each of you to continue to drive forward to make our world a better place. With that in mind, I'd like to thank the amazing team at Disney. Disney is a phenomenal partner to have the opportunity to work with, and they truly go the extra mile to make us all feel special. Their passion for veteran success is boundless. And of course, none of this would be possible without our presenting sponsor, Raytheon Technologies. And I'd like to send a special thank you to this general session sponsor, Comcast NBC Universal. Every time at headquarters when we come up with a new way to help student veterans, a new way to be more effective and to give back more to our cohort of student veteran leaders, the organizations that you see throughout NatCon, such as Raytheon Technologies and Disney and Comcast University, NBC Universal, and so many others, they always ask us, how can we help? I look forward to continuing to improve the lives of student veterans and military-connected students and our families. And I'd like to thank all of our partners with a special thank you for being here and believing in our mission. We cannot thank you enough for your generosity. If we could give all the partners that made NatCon happen a round of applause, I'd really be grateful. Make sure throughout NatCon you have the chance to thank them yourselves, but also get to know them. The networking that we can do with them can really support the student veterans back on our campuses. Now, before we totally dive in today, I'd like us all to pause for a moment of silence so that we might recognize those of us who have lost someone due to COVID-19. Thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge all of those who have struggled over the past 2 years, balancing your jobs, your relationship, parenthood, all while managing your education during this pandemic. Currently, I am a student veteran. My journey in higher education began at Brevard Community College in Melbourne, Florida. They've actually now changed their name to Eastern Florida State College. I got someone from Melbourne. I did this just a few months after getting out of the Navy on active duty. During my time in community college, I worked full-time at Northrop Grumman, and I took classes at night. I eventually became a transfer junior at a small state school in Tallahassee, Florida, called Florida State University. Go Noles. There it is. And there I first became involved with SVA by first being voluntold to be the chapter vice president, and later being elected as our chapter president at FSU. I'd later go on to earn a master's degree at Syracuse University. There it is. There's a few from Syracuse here. And I did this while working full-time at the Institute for Veterans and Military Families. And today, I stand before you as a full-time student veteran again, pursuing my PhD at Syracuse University, while also working full-time at Student Veterans of America and raising a beautiful little redhead with my gorgeous wife, Shayla. Life is never easy. But it has been especially difficult and daunting to be a college student during this challenging time. We're all in this together, and we're all going to have been stronger for having weathered this storm together. Our theme this year for SVA's 14th Annual National Conference is SVA Has Soul. Naturally, we couldn't just leave it at that. In our community, everything needs an acronym. Listen, I don't make the rules, I just follow them. But SOUL, for our instance, is an acronym, and it stands for Service, Opportunity, Unity, and Leadership. The S is for service, and it's the foundation of every person in this room. You are student veterans because at one point in your life, you decided you wanted to serve your nation. I will tell you that your life will be better if you never let that go. Let your service continue by helping your fellow veterans, by helping your neighbors, by helping your communities and your country. Keep doing the right thing. O is for opportunity. They say that success occurs when opportunity meets preparedness. You have been preparing all year in your classrooms, in your study groups, and in your SVA chapters. You'll find that opportunity is everywhere within SVA. Some of you have incredible ideas for businesses that you'll start. Some of you will open doors for one another. And I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a whole lot of incredible companies, veteran organizations, and schools here with us this weekend that are dying to talk to you about opportunities that they want to provide for you. It's there for the taking, and you and your fellow chapter members can take it. Believe in yourselves and get after it. But also, when you find success, don't forget to provide some opportunity for those that will follow you. No one does this alone. U is for unity. We all come from different worlds. Now, it's an opportunity for a little engagement, so I'd like you to sound off in a way that you feel would be most appropriate and with who you might identify with most strongly. So, first up would be, where's the Army at? The Army's pretty good, right? You know, they always know they're first. They're pretty big, though. They're pretty big. So where's, we got some members of the Air Force here? It was actually a really good Air Force. It's been hit or miss some years. All right, where's my sisters and brothers of the world's finest Navy? There was some, I felt that. That was good. That was good. All right, they're the smallest, but we know they're the meanest. We got Marines. Not that many, but they fill it up. Now, you would think smallish. You thought I was going to say Coast Guard, but I was trying to keep our coasties on our toes. Where are our coasties? Y'all, they're here. They are. They're here. Now, Now, this is a whole new world. First time I've had to do this publicly. We got any from the Space Force? That's okay. We got plenty of time. But believe it or not, there are members of the Space Force that are already filing discharge paperwork, so we'll welcome them soon. But listen, we've all had the chance to serve in our own parts of the military with our own problems, our own challenges, but we're working together towards one goal, one team, one fight. You can't lose that now. It's very easy to fall prey to the idea that now that you're civilians, you have to go alone. Don't do that. Lean on one another. Support each other. You'd never dream of leaving somebody behind in the military, so do you feel any differently now? Of course not. So keep working together as one team, and you'll accomplish more than you ever could by yourselves. That's been a truth for my life. L is for leadership. Might not feel like it right now because we're all in some sort of transition. We're moving from one world to the next, and you're trying to get the most out of school at the same time. But I assure you, each and every one of you, in my view, are leaders. What's more, you're the leaders that our country needs right now. The people in this room will start more successful businesses than any other cohort of Americans. You'll earn higher GPAs than nearly any other cohort of students in post-secondary education. You're more likely to volunteer in your community than your counterparts, and you achieve higher paying careers in nearly every sector in America. In fact, student veterans outperform every other population by nearly every measurable statistic attributed to success that we can find. So embrace that. And that applause is for yourselves. Don't be bashful. Be proud. We need you. So I'd ask that you think about SOUL for the rest of the weekend, S-O-U-L. Listen, y'all, I'm excited. I hope that you're excited too. NatCon's important. You all told us that you wanted it to be in person, and we committed to each of you to do that, but with safety at the forefront of everything that we're doing. Each of you are part of that safety, and you all have the same responsibility. And I thank you so much for taking this seriously and being a part of making it happen. It's especially important for our first-time attendees. 74% of our attendees this year, this is their first NatCon. So take advantage of all of this. Yeah, welcome. NatCon's an incredible opportunity to connect with student veterans, with family members, with advocates, with allies, and thought leaders in our community, as well as champions in higher education. The people you will meet here are doing amazing things. Learn from them and let them learn from you. You'll all have the chance to learn how to improve your SVA chapter through breakout sessions and on-campus engagement and chapter management. And we'll all have the chance to network with fellow chapter leaders, to learn from each other. And you can network with some amazing companies and executives, maybe even land an internship or perhaps a job while you're currently a student, or even a job after graduation. So please make the most of this experience and absorb it in a way that you can bring it back to all of your chapter members who couldn't be here. You're here representing them. Make sure you're a sponge, soaking it all up and bringing it back for others. This last year, we've spent a great deal of effort expanding our programs and services so that we could better equip and better serve you. As part of our commitment, we'll respond to any question that you ask at headquarters team within 24 hours or less. We've also launched our own Discord channel. For those of you not in the gaming community, Discord's an instant messaging platform that allows you to quickly access SVA members and chapter leaders so that you can increase communication and networking even beyond our in-person experience. Somebody loves Discord. That was good. With so much of our world operating in virtual or hybrid settings these last 2 years, SVA has invested in building the infrastructure necessary for our leadership continuum to thrive. We've revamped and digitized the curriculum for our annual regional summits that train chapter leaders on the tools, techniques, and tactics to manage a successful and sustainable student veteran organization. Even when regional summits return to in-person instruction, we will now have the ability to continue to reach more chapter leaders online when they can't travel. We've also graduated 2 incredible classes of SVA Leadership Fellows and SVA VFW and SVA Legislative Fellows during this time, and we continue to hold our annual Washington Week, where SVA delivers our top policy priorities to members of Congress each and every year. No matter what the world has thrown at us, SVA, you have answered the call. And despite these challenges, we've still managed to host some tremendous events this year, like last fall when former Miss USA and U.S. Army veteran Deshauna Barber, the CEO of Service Women's Action Network, SWAN, hosted our Women's Chapter Leadership Summit. Or last month when we hosted an Instagram Live with the phenomenal folks at Merging Vets and Players, or MVP. They'll be hosting a pop-up workout discussion. You heard Remy talk about it earlier. That'll be on Saturday morning for our early risers who want to get some physical fitness in. And don't let anyone tell you that I told you this, but rumor has it that there's a special member of the MVP team making an appearance this week. You may or may not have heard Remy talk about him. I can't tell you who it is, of course, but I am allowed to tell you that it rhymes with Bait Neuer. I'm especially proud of the commitments that we've made to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And last September, we announced our partnership with Rutgers University Center for Minority Serving Institutions, which is the first partnership of its kind in the nation. You will learn more about it on SVA Mondays, where every Monday on our social media platforms and accounts, as well as our podcast with the Center for Minority Serving Institutions. This relationship is critical because it allows us to research and collect more data and voices to share with our government affairs team, which in turn helps our work with Congress to build better policy for all veterans. Today, I'm thrilled to share with you that we are taking that commitment to the next level with help from our partners at Raytheon Technologies. This year, our brand new Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Initiative will formalize and amplify our outreach to and support for minority-serving institutions, specifically historically black colleges and universities, or HBCUs. I'm pleased to announce that SVA will host a Student Veteran Inclusion and Representation Summit this summer to help shift the national conversation from mere tolerance and acknowledgement to a feeling of belonging and investment in America's underrepresented student veterans. Here, SVA will convene higher education, nonprofit, corporate, and other partners to ensure that our Black, Indigenous, and people of color student veterans reach their potential on campuses, in communities, and at workplaces across the country. But wait, there's more. Finally, we're going to create a fellowship at SVA's national headquarters in Washington, D.C., who will be responsible for providing and growing expertise in diversity, equity, and inclusion. This fellow will construct and lead our racial justice task force focused on representation of minorities in SVA's national programs, in our events, in our chapters, on Capitol Hill, in academic research, and on campuses nationwide. The most exciting parts of these announcements is that these innovations are not happening at some far-off, nebulous time in the future. They're happening now, made possible by the incredible generosity and ongoing support from Raytheon Technologies, who's agreed to fully fund our diversity, equity, and inclusion work. Just as SVA has committed to ensuring that student veterans are represented in higher education and in the workforce, we are equally committed to ensuring that every group inside the veteran community has equal access to success. Better representation for today's student veterans means that we all benefit. This pandemic has also inspired us to move and improve our communications. Losing day-to-day contact has exposed some of us to areas that we definitely need to work on, and so we are. The SVA website now offers more resources than ever before. The SVA Career Center is full of information about what it's like to work for our partnered companies, as well as many other organizations. Thanks to our good friends at the National Association of State Workforce Agencies, as well as the Direct Employers Association, via the National Labor Exchange, the SVA Career Center, which is on our website right now, currently lists over 4 million unique job opportunities, and they update live every day. The updated SVA website, studentveterans.org, also hosts tremendous information about how to manage and lead your chapter. Our chapter guide and videos help you to solve nearly any problem under the sun, whether you're looking for the best practices to lead a chapter, to scale a chapter, or even revive a chapter that might have fallen on hard times or disappeared entirely. We want you to succeed. We know that every campus is different and has different challenges. If the answer isn't in our chapter guide, reach out to your headquarters staff in Washington, D.C. I promise we'll get it for you. Your government affairs team has been working around the clock, relentlessly over the past 2 years. This is the team that made sure that your GI Bill continued when everything went virtual in 2020. Your government affairs team continues to fight for you. Moreover, they have worked to ensure that your voice is heard on Capitol Hill and in the White House. Our policy submission portal on the SVA website ensures that you can reach out to us with any policy initiatives that you have that you think will improve the lives of student veterans and our family members. Nearly all of our policy work starts directly with you. In fact, there's even a breakout session this weekend for you to interact directly with our government affairs team and other policy experts to make sure your voice is heard and that those that advocate on your behalf hear you. Chapter leaders, VFW SVA legislative fellows, and contributing student veterans continue to set the stage for the critical tasks that we need to get done on Capitol Hill. An important example of this connection came out of the crisis in Afghanistan. Many of you that are sitting here have a personal connection to Afghanistan. Many of you did everything that you could to help during the withdrawal in August, whether it was communicating with your former interpreters on WhatsApp or consolidating lists to pass on to the troops who were on the ground, or for a handful of you, even going there as civilians. During the general session that'll be on Saturday afternoon, at your request, we have a panel that is going to discuss this very issue. We are also continuing to work with our partners to ensure that SVA chapters can help the Afghans who fought alongside us, as well as their families who now find themselves in the United States. They are part of our community, and we take care of our own. We are listening, but if we don't know unless you tell us, so please get involved. We want you to be inspired and empowered to make a difference because SVA belongs to you. But it's not enough to build programs and advocate for change. As believers in higher education and the scientific method, we want more data. We constantly research our community, our challenges, our programs, and we report our findings. When we find root causes, we work to solve them. When we find program successes, we report our results to you and to other veteran-serving organizations and to Congress. They trust us to tell them what actually makes a difference in the lives of veterans. So when you see requests from us that come in the form of the annual census or a survey, I ask you to please fill it out. Your feedback is critical and directly informs our work. Our policy may be the conduit to the legislature, but you are the source. Which brings me to 2022, and we have a lot coming up. Washington Week will occur this spring, and we look forward to introducing SVA chapter members to the legislative process as we announce our policy and advocacy priorities for the year. It's important that the future leaders of SVA, the people in this room, understand that Congress isn't some distant, far-off place. It's actually just a group of people right down the road from your national headquarters in Washington, D.C. And those people are looking for the right information so that they can craft the right policies to help our veterans. You can affect that change, and Washington Week gives you the opportunity to do just that. The Leadership Institute, which is our premier student leadership program, is planned to be back in person this fall. The Leadership Institute is a tremendous opportunity to improve your leadership skills and immerse yourself with a group of dedicated leadership fellows, all looking to make a difference, and it's taught in person in Washington, D.C. I highly recommend that each of you apply. It's competitive, but if you're accepted, you can learn more about how you can improve as an individual leader. And anyone can get more information about any future SVA programs at the SVA booth on the campus. We're also hosting 6 regional summits in 6 U.S. cities this summer. Regional summits will be offered both in person and virtual to ensure that everyone can benefit from them. We're also launching a brand new online portal this year, which will streamline the chapter experience by providing you a place where you can log in as a chapter leader, where you can register for events, update your contact information and your chapter information, or even apply for scholarships, all in one convenient place. In fact, some of you in this room will be the very first chapter leaders in the country to see it live this weekend. I've had the pleasure of speaking with student veterans many times over the years, as well as presiding now over my 6th SVA National Conference as your national president and CEO. NatCon is always special, but I gotta be honest with you, this one feels a little different. This one feels like a victory to some extent and a rebirth all tied into one. This pandemic has been hard on everyone, and there's no mistaking it. But in hard times, it's always best to look for the helpers. And I have watched as this community does everything it can for each other, for other veterans, for your communities, and for our country. Those of you in the Guard and Reserves have deployed to test facilities and to aid the affected. Those of you in your careers have reached out to other veterans during this time to help them navigate the job search. Those of you in school have supported and fought for each other. And many of you have been involved in saving the lives of those Afghans that served alongside so many of us. You've embraced this challenge with a stiff upper lip, and you have shown once again why it's so easy to serve you. Because when many in America were asking, how do I take care of myself during these troubled times? You were asking, how do I help others? And while I know the reality of COVID-19 has not left us entirely, here we are, together again, safely, asking for the next challenge. It's my honor to speak with you today and to be among you, to call you each my sisters and brothers in arms. Thank you for being a profound inspiration to my life. Now, take care of each other this weekend. Bring all of the knowledge that you gain here back to your campus and make it better than you found it. Hydrate. You know what I mean. And please all join us as we now officially open the SVA campus. Thank you all.